Something appealing, something concealing, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Something frenetic, something pedantic, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Nothing with kings and nothing with crowns, something for lovers, liars, clowns. Old situations and new complications, nothing pretentious or polite. Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight. Something, where are you? There we are. Something appealing, something revealing, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Something ecstatic, something pedantic, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Nothing of gods, nothing of kings, and weighty affairs will just have to wait, and old situations, new complications. This time, it all turns out all right. Open up the curtains. Comedy tonight. Allow me to introduce myself, friends. I am the ever-popular Michael Paris Newman, and the name of this particular work is called Cast of One, because I couldn't get any help. You can't get good help these days, just me, cast of one. But I'd like to start off with this particular piece with a short poem which was written by the poet Laurel of Seattle, my friend Dutch, who wrote that a small dose of insanity is quite a worthwhile thing. Why, it saves one from reality and worries life may bring. So envy the insane man because his lot is not so bad. An overdose of sanity can drive a person mad. That's what he wrote. Pretty good. Now, there used to be a show a long time ago that was called Ed Sullivan. And it was on for a long time, and he introduced people. He said, you know, see out here in our audience tonight, delightful comedy star Benito Mussolini, stand up, going to come up and tell us some Italian jokes. He used to have dog acts on and things. And he had Jose Jimenez on, who was dressed as an astronaut, because he did the thing. And he's standing there, and he's saying, and you're America's newest astronaut. He says, see. So, Don, you are, and your name, what is your name? He said, my name, Jose Jimenez. And they're going to shoot you out into space, you know. You're going to circle the Earth and come back and land safely in the ocean. Oh, I hope so. That's Jose, who was the nicest man in the world. And then there's a line, you know, the movie Barfly? That guy, he stands there, and Mickey Rourke, and he says, to all my friends, That's what he says. Red Skelton always opened his show, he'd go, good evening. And everybody would laugh, Clem Diddlehopper. And then there was a great actress, a character comedian named Moms Mabley. And she was this old black lady. And she would stand there, and she'd come out and she'd have this hat. She was on Ed's show a lot. And she'd stand there, and she told this joke. She says, do you know how the Chinese people names the children? Is this whole silverware up in the air? And whichever way it lands, that's what they call them. Ping, pang, and pong. That's Moms Mabley. And she said, I got married to an old man again, I'll tell you. He was 92, 90. He was so old, he embarrassed me. We went to his sister's funeral at the graveyard, you see. She died. And the minister was there and said, well, how old are you, sir? He said, I'm 93. And the minister said, well, you might as well just stick around. Here's another one. Alfred Hitchcock, he said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I found a marvelous recipe for a sugar substitute. It's made with ground glass. And then he'd say things like, I'm here inside a tomb. It's really rather peaceful. You know, mankind has always provided better living accommodations for the dead than for the living. And then there's Joey Brown, he used to say post time. He'd lift his glass. And then, where have I got it? Oh, Jack Nicholson. Anyone can do Jack Nicholson. Really, all you have to know is one word from The Shining. Not, here's Johnny. No, that's a good one. But it's like, he sits there and he goes, Wendy? You out? He doesn't, I won't say what he said, but he just says, you just go, because he sounds like Henry Fonda, and you go, Wendy? and she has a thing, a knife. Let's see now. What have I here? Oh, yes. George Carlin, wonderful comedian, lovely man, great line. You know what he said, besides things? He says, listen, if your deodorant ever fails on you, all you got to do is get you a couple of bay leaves and stick them under your arms and tell everybody you're making onion soup. That's a great line. And then you ever hear the song from the movie Georgia Girl? Hey there, Georgie girl, swinging down the lane so fancy-free. There's a Mexican version of it, It goes, hey there, Jorge girl, swinging down the lane so fancy-free. And then there's, what else? Oh, the Scarlet Pimpernel with Leslie Howard. He has a great line. He's this dandy, and he says, they seek him here, they seek him there. Those Frenchies seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven? Is he in hell? That damned elusive Pimpernel. And then there was Professor Urban Corey, who used to stand before an audience. He had a tattered coat, and he had his hair up in the air, and he'd begin his monologue. He'd stand there, and everybody look at him because he was goofy looking, and he'd sit there and he'd go, however, he'd always open up with however. Marty Allen used to always say, hello there, hello there. And the title of Ernie Kovac's book is called Nothing in Moderation. Godfather.
We've known each other many years. And this is the first time that you ever came to me for help. I don't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. Yeah, let's be frank here. You never wanted my friendship, and you were afraid to be in my debt. I understand. You came to America, you had a good trade, there were the police and the courts to protect you. And you didn't need the friendship of a man like me. I understand. But now you come to me on the day that my daughter is to be married, and you say, Don Corleone, give me justice, and you want me to do murder for you. That I cannot do. Justice, that is not justice. Your daughter still lives. That is not justice. Now, what have I ever done to deserve such disrespect? If you had come to me in friendship, the scum that ruined your daughter, they would be suffering this very day. But if by chance an honest man like yourself should make enemies, they would become my enemies. And then they will fear you. But I'm going to help you. So on the day of my daughter's wedding, I give you this gift of justice on the day of my daughter's wedding. Monsieur. Tom, we have to have some good people on this. Reliable people don't want to get carried away. Unlike the grave digger who says and thinks that we are not murderers. Now, as to the other matter, I'm going to make him an offer that he can't refuse. Da 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 dee da do 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 dee do. Let us say.
Well, now, we all love The Wizard of Oz. My favorite character has always been the Wizard because he was played by Frank Morgan. He was lovely. And he has this beautiful speech towards the end when he's got to grant everybody's wishes. He's been a faker. And, he's there behind the curtain, and they brought him the witch's broomstick. And the curtain opens up, the dog opens the curtain, and he's saying, "Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain, the great Oz." And then he open it up, and he comes out, and they're standing looking at him. And he says, "I am the Wizard of Oz. I was at the Omaha Fair, and a balloon ascensionist, and the rope broke, and I landed later on in the Emerald City, where they instantly proclaimed me as their wizard. I am the wizard. Now, the great Oz has every intention of granting your requests. You, Scarecrow. Now you want a brain. Well, every pusillanimous creature that crawls on the earth or slinks through slimy seas has a brain. Back where I come from, we have universities where men go and get great learning and think deep, deep thoughts. But they have one thing that you haven't got: a testimonial, a diploma from the. I take great pleasure at this time in presenting you this simple diploma from the Comitianus e Pluribus Unum, the Universitarius Comitianum e Pluribus Unum, a Doctor of Thinkology. And you, sir, you lion. You run from danger. You feel as though you are a coward. You run from danger, and yet you are confusing danger with wisdom. Now, back where I come from, we have men that go around all day long, and once a year, they drag their fortitude out of mothballs with their medals, and they parade up and down the street, and they aren't any more braver than you, but they do have one thing that you haven't got: a medal for your courage in defending and fighting against wicked witches. Give you this wonderful medal for courage and gallantry in fighting the wicked witches. And you, my galvanized friend, Tin Man, you want a heart. Well, you do not know how lucky you are not having one. Why, I personally could have been a wow of a wizard had I not been obstructed by a heart. But be that as it may, back where I come from, we have men who go around all day long, and they don't do anything but good deeds. And they are called good deed doers. And they don't, their hearts are no bigger than yours, but they do have one thing that you haven't got: a little testimonial here. And I take great pleasure at this time in presenting you this token of our esteem and affection for you. And remember, my galvanized friend, my sentimental friend, that a heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Her troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you will find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. These little birds, they fly. Oh, with a rainbow. Why? Don't know why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow's end, why, oh why can't I? There is no place like home. La la la, la la la, dun 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 dun, do. Friends, let's try to be serious here. Let's be real. Let's talk serious stuff. Friends, I'd like to talk to you now on a serious subject about Shakespeare. Everybody's friend. All you actors out there scared to death of Shakespeare because all them words. I don't blame you. But you know, the dude's pretty easy to understand. So I've selected this simple passage, the opening speech of Richard III from the play called Richard III. And he has the opening speech. The simplest way to describe this character, besides the villain and all that, he's a little bit like the guy in North Korea. He kills off everybody so he can become king. Well, the North Korea dude, he killed his uncle and his brother so he could make sure he had a good job. And so that's how he got his job. That was recently. Now, Richard III goes back a long time. He kills a whole bunch of people to get the job, and lies and cheats and thieves. He's a scoundrel. But somehow we like the guy, and I don't know why, because he is such a rat. And he has the opening speech, and he's all pissed off because there's peace in England. He likes to. One thing about Richard III, he's not a coward. He likes to go into battle and kill people. It's a lot of fun. But he begins, he's mentioned in some of the other plays of Shakespeare, the histories, they refer to him as Richard of Gloucester, later Richard III. Duke of Gloucester, later Richard III. But, you know, Richard III is his. So he comes out on the stage, and he stands there. You know, I want to try to be serious. He comes out, and he says to everybody in the audience, he says, well, now is the winter of our discontent. It's made glorious summer by this son of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean, buried. Oh, our stern alarms are changed to merry meetings, our bruised arms hung up for monuments. Oh, grim visaged war hath soothed his wrinkled front. And now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly at a lady's bedchamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I that am not shaped for so sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I that have no delight to pass away the time unless to spy my shadow in the sun and descant on mine own deformity, I that am so lamely unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them, why I, in this piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time unless to spy my shadow in the sun. Why, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these fair, well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and to just hate the idle pleasures of these days. Oh, plots, plots have I laid industrious. They're libelous, they're my drunken prophecies, to set my brother Clarence George against the king, the one against the other. The king and my brother Clarence George, one against the other. And if King Edward be as true, as just as I am, subtle, false, and treacherous, well, this day should old Clarence George be closely mewed up about a prophecy that a G of Edward's, King Edward's heirs, a G in his murderer, shall be. Ah, well, dive thoughts down to my soul. Here my brother Clarence comes. Clarence, what means this armed guard that waits upon your grace? Oh, His Majesty tendering you safely and wants to send you to the Tower. Oh, well, this is not. This is the Queen's work. This is the woman. The Queen did this, not the King. He is just. I am with you, brother. I am with you, brother. I shall help you all that I can do. Yes, yes. I'm with you, brother, and see to it. I shall deliver you, brother. I do love thee so, brother, that presently I shall send thy soul to heaven. My friends, either you are closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you're not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friends. Right here, I say trouble, right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player. I'm certainly mighty proud to say it. I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. It helps you cultivate horse sense, cool eye, and a keen eye. Do you ever try to give yourself an iron kind of lead to yourself from a 3-railed billiard shot? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a balk-line game. I say that any boob can take and shove a ball to pocket. And I call it slop. First big step on the road to the depths of degradé. I say first, medicinal wine from a teaspoon. Then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit and listening to some big out-of-town Jasper, hearing him tell about horse race gambling. Nah, not a wholesome trot race, no, but a race where they sit down right on the horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan Patch, it would make your blood boil. Well, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum. With a capital B, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. And all week long, your River City youth will be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering away their noontime, summertime, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket. Never mind getting dandelions pulled and the screen door patched. Or the beefsteak pounded, never mind pumping any water. Till your parents are caught with a cistern empty on a Saturday night. That's trouble. Oh, got lots and lots of trouble. I am thinking of the kids in the knickerbockers, shirt-tailed young ones, peeking in the pool hall window after school. You got trouble, folks. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around that hall? They're trying out Bevo, trying out Cubebs, trying out TaylorMade's like cigarette fiends, and they're bragging all about how they are going to cover up a telltale breath with sense, and one fine night, they leave the pool hall, heading for the dance at the Armory. Libertine men, scarlet women, ragtime, shameless music that will grab your son, your daughter, with the arms of a jungle animal instinct hysteria, friends. The idle brain is the devil's playground. Oh, you got trouble? Right here in River City with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool, that stands for pool. We surely got trouble. Got to figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Now your children's going to have trouble. My friends, mothers of River City, heed that warning before it is too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like swell. So's your old man. Well, if so, my friends, yeah, got trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Right here in River City with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. We surely got trouble. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Your children's children gonna have trouble. Oh yes, we got trouble. We are in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15 numbered balls is devil's true. Oh yes, we got trouble here. We got great big trouble with a T, with the capital T. Got to rhyme with P, and that stands for poo. My friends, remember, I passed this way but once. Oh, we got trouble. Right here in River City. Capital T, rhyme with P, stands for poo. Hello. Well, friends, we now come to the end of this magnificent display of forbearance and utter silliness. And as the sun sinks slowly in the Ralph Cramden sky, we bid a fond farewell to our happy hero, the ever-popular Michael Paris Newman, starring now regularly on your television and beside your screen on your computer. Look now carefully before he goes. The wonderful show called Cast of One. And here you have it. Here's the ending. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Oh, good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I will see you in my dream. La da ti ti. Do 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 do. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I will see you in my dream. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are, as Jimmy Durante used to say. Good night, Mrs. Calabash. Mrs. Calabash is evidently his wife. Good night, Mrs. Calabash. Everybody wants to get into the act. Thanks for the memory. What memories they bring to mind. Memories of olden days were warm and nights were cold. I thank you so much. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans used to see the show, you know. They had that dog, that offensive dog named Bullet. And then they had the fella driving the car, the truck, Pat Brady, nice guy. But you know, here's a cowboy western. Where'd they get this truck? Everyone's riding on horses and shooting guns on a Saturday afternoon, and yet here's this guy driving around in a truck. Now, no one at the time drove around the West, except Roy Rogers. And he and Dale, they sang this song, and it went, oh, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Oh, there's a derelict wandering by. Until we meet again. Now, it makes no difference if it's cloudy or stormy weather, just as long as we're together. Happy trails to you. Till to tip to tip till. Yes, until we meet again. Fare thee well, for I must leave thee. Do not let my parting grieve thee. I do remember that the best of friends must part. Must part. Fare thee well, for I must leave thee. Do not let my parting grieve thee. And do remember, friends, best of friends. Well, there's a place for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Probably would have been a good idea to call 911. The kid's dying in West Side Story. He's dead, almost. He's been stabbed. And the girl's singing, there's a place for... Poor thing, guy died. But if you called 911 sooner, he might have made it. Never know. Now, you can go but be back soon. You can go but while you're walking. Remember our old tune, be back soon. Oh, you can go but be back soon. You can go but while you're walking. Remember our old tune, be back soon. You can go but be back soon. You can go but while you're walking. Remember our old tune, be back soon. I'm so glad that we had this time together. I'm so glad, Carol Burnett. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, sweet prince. Flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Hamlet, like I said, they're all dead. Go home now. Our revels now are ended. And these are actors, as I foretold you. They're all spirits, and they're melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, yea, the great globe itself, all which it inherits shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. And our little life is rounded with a sleep. Well, we're going now. Goodbye. Goodbye. We're leaving now. Goodbye. Da-dee-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Poppy toppy 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 do 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 do. Ta-da ta 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 do 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 do. Yaddy daddy 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 do 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 do. Yaddy daddy daddy do 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 do. Poppy poppy toppy ta do 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 do. La ta 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 ta. That's all, folks.